There exists a category of items on this planet that are not defined by their material worth or their appearance. These are artifacts of the spirit, deeply sacred, frequently concealed, and often completely missed by the casual observer. To the uninitiated, these items appear to be nothing more than mundane relics, perhaps something old, overlooked, or simply trash. Yet for those who have been specifically called, those who are truly marked, these objects possess an undeniable radiance. They are, in a profound sense, divine keys, acting as direct transmissions from a higher, unseen reality, signaling a unique appointment. These aren't mere things you can hold in your hand. They are profound spiritual indicators, acting as gateways for personal and supernatural transformation, each one vibrating with the pure, powerful frequency of the divine realm itself. When the vast majority of the world glances at something discarded or common, the chosen individual possesses the sight to perceive a future prophecy within it. Understand this clearly. These 9 sacred objects were never intended for the broad masses. They were never meant to be stumbled upon by the merely inquisitive or the vaguely spiritual. They are reserved, visible only to those whose souls have been designated, those who have been specifically summoned by the Most High Authority. When this chosen group finally recognizes these objects for the powerful truths they embody, a radical, irreversible shift begins to unfold in their lives and in the world around them. In the journey you're taking through this very video, I am preparing to unveil the 9 objects of power, those specific, tangible signs that only God's specially chosen ones are destined to encounter and comprehend. Each of these items serves as an undeniable signal, a profound divine marker confirming your true purpose. If your life's path has led you to cross paths with even a single one of these signs, I urge you to pay close attention to the message you are about to receive. The truth is simple. You are not and have never been an ordinary soul. You are uniquely set apart for a high purpose, a reality that the average person cannot grasp. Before we delve deeper into these powerful revelations, take a significant moment right now to acknowledge this stirring in your spirit by tapping that like button below. Furthermore, I want you to actively declare your alignment by commenting 1111. This isn't just a random number, it symbolizes divine alignment, the establishment of sacred order, and the powerful beginning of spiritual awakening. By typing that number, you move beyond merely watching this content and actively choose to step into the greater truth it represents, initiating your transformation. Let us commence this journey into the mysteries. The first sign is the ancient key. Initially, it rarely presents itself with any obvious signs of power or significance. You might find it hidden deep within the pages of a long-forgotten journal, or tucked away in an unused drawer. Or perhaps it appears vividly in a persistent dream that simply refuses to fade from your waking consciousness. To a typical eye, it looks unremarkable, potentially rusty, visibly worn, and utterly unimpressive. Yet for the chosen one, this key doesn't just sit there. It actively calls out, resonating with a frequency only your soul can perceive. Its power is not resident in the metal itself, but in the impeccable timing of its sudden, meaningful arrival into your awareness. This ancient key manifests specifically when a sacred unlocking event is imminent in your life. It signals that a profound hidden truth is ready to emerge into the light of your understanding. It means that a significant door, one that may have remained sealed for years, or even across entire generations of your family line, is finally preparing to swing open wide. The broader world constantly pushes you to seek complex answers through conventional logic, noisy data, and external systems. However, this key completely defies those expectations, preferring to communicate through profound silence. It reveals itself only in moments of deep stillness, and only to those who have demonstrated consistent, quiet obedience, doing what is right even when completely unobserved by others. You must understand that this key is not a thing you actively go out and successfully hunt down. Rather, it is designed to find you precisely when you are ready. And when this synchronicity occurs, nothing in your life will ever hold the same meaning again. You will suddenly gain the capacity to discern intricate, meaningful patterns amidst what others see as mere chaos. and you will start receiving unmistakable messages hidden within the most mundane, everyday events. Furthermore, you will begin to perceive direct, critical instructions deliberately encoded into moments that everyone else completely overlooks or rushes past. This is the ultimate function of the ancient key. It doesn't just operate to unlock an external door. Its true purpose is to unlock you. If you have ever felt the presence or significance of this key, even fleetingly, you have already started the process of ascending into a higher dimension of understanding and existence. Be aware, however, that with every door this key opens, a powerful sacred truth is inevitably unleashed. And as you embrace the profound transformation that follows, you must accept that not everyone in your circle will celebrate or understand the new powerful person you are destined to become. Are you still resolute and ready to proceed on this path? Good, because the next object is not only exceedingly rare, but its arrival means the breaking of chains the enemy desperately wanted you to keep bound by. The second object of revelation is the broken chain. This object doesn't possess the false allure of shimmering gold, nor does it loudly demand your attention. In fact, it is quite possible that you initially dismissed it, perhaps viewing it in a vivid dream, seeing it lying at the bottom of a dusty old container, or experiencing it as a momentary flash of vision during a period of intense, focused prayer. But then it returns, and this time you feel its undeniable presence deep in your soul. The broken chain is much more than a mere symbol of hardship. It is a spiritual revelation, a powerful divine declaration confirming that a deeply rooted cycle, one that your ancestors tragically could not overcome, has finally and decisively been terminated by you. Your spiritual assignment was never to shoulder the burden of past failures. You were selected and empowered to bring those cycles to an absolute and final conclusion. This includes the patterns of abuse, the generations of poverty, the persistent struggles with addiction, the cultural silence, and the ingrained shame. This specific chain was forged in the deepest darkness and was passed down, generation after generation, like a cursed inheritance through both the bloodlines and the subsequent behaviors they dictated. But when this chain snaps, when the critical link finally and completely gives way, it is not simply because you exerted more personal effort or fought harder than those who came before you. It is because the highest heaven has fully authorized and guaranteed your ultimate freedom. Herein lies a significant mystery. Most people who see a chain, even a broken one, instinctively try to repair it. They wrongly perceive the breaking as a problem or an unwanted disruption. But the chosen ones possess the wisdom to know that what has shattered to set you free requires no fixing or restoration. You are not called to merely perpetuate and continue existing cycles. You are spiritually anointed with the specific power to absolutely destroy them. Therefore, if you have encountered this chain, particularly in dreams where it fractures, spontaneously dissolves or falls completely away, you are not merely being shown a metaphor, you are being handed the concrete, irrefutable proof of your identity. You are the curse breaker. It must be understood that true freedom is never a silent event. The moment that ancient chain breaks, the spiritual entities that had maintained its hold immediately take notice, and they will undoubtedly come seeking to reclaim what they perceive was stolen from their dominion. Are you fully prepared for the profound spiritual consequence that follows the breaking of that chain? Because the subsequent object is not focused on what you successfully dismantle. Rather, it is about the deeper sacred truths that heaven intentionally reveals once your soul is truly ready to receive the sight. The third powerful sign is the hidden scroll. This revelation never announces itself with dramatic thunder or a loud, commanding shout. Instead, it enters your consciousness as a profound, often subtle whisper. You might be casually scrolling through a page of text when a single, specific verse suddenly pierces you with intense meaning. Or you could randomly open a book to find one sentence that burns into your spirit, as if it was composed exclusively for your eyes. Maybe you overhear a single line in a passing conversation, a powerful lyric in a song, or a seemingly chance message, and something deep inside you instantly freezes with recognition. That is the unmistakable signature of the hidden scroll. It doesn't look like an antique, nor does it come wrapped in glittering gold. But for the chosen, the wisdom it carries is vastly louder and more impactful than the loudest trumpet blast. This is because when the hidden scroll materializes, you are not merely processing information. You are actively receiving profound, immediate, and transformative revelation. The divine often places his critical instructions in plain sight, not to engage in games, but because the deepest secrets are only entrusted to the souls who demonstrate the readiness and capacity to bear the weight and responsibility of that knowledge. The hidden scroll signifies the pivotal moment where abstract knowledge spontaneously transforms into tangible activation. The B point where you cease merely seeking external answers and begin actively embodying the answer itself. This explains why a particular verse, which thousands of others read daily with indifference, strikes your soul with the force of lightning. It is confirmation that the divine is speaking not just to the general audience, but directly, personally, and intimately to you. When this scroll appears, it is never about simple information transfer. It is the delivery of a mission, a precise divine download, intricately wrapped in temporary mystery, sent with surgical accuracy to reawaken something powerful that has been dormant within your spiritual core. Once this deep revelation is unveiled, it becomes impossible to unsee it, and you can never regress to the person you were, even 5 minutes prior to its appearance. You have now been given a sacred accountability. You have been trusted with too much, shown too much to pretend ignorance. However, true revelation always carries a significant price tag. Your immediate actions and response to the message contained within the scroll will determine the critical next steps that heaven initiates on your behalf. And just when you believe you are fully prepared to proceed, the next object emerges to test not the accumulation of your knowledge, but the true willingness of your heart to humbly receive the unheard message. There arrives a precise moment in your life when the surrounding world is overwhelmingly loud and chaotic. Yet something profound and central inside your being achieves an absolute stillness. You might be physically present in a massive crowd, stuck motionless in heavy traffic, or aimlessly scrolling through digital noise and confusion. And then, without warning, the profound experience strikes you. It is a deafening silence, one that manages to roar much louder than the entirety of the external world combined. This phenomenon is known as the silent trumpet. It is not constructed of metal, nor does it emit a sound that your physical ears can detect. Yet your deepest spirit hears it with perfect clarity. And when this soundless summoning occurs, everything is radically and instantly transformed. This is not a gentle suggestion to consider or a passing moment of inspiration to feel. It is an undeniable summoning. The silent trumpet marks the exact second the divine realm declares, "The time is now." It is the moment to fully rise, to finally walk in your power, and to consciously shoulder the unique assignment you were brought into this world to carry out. Most individuals who encounter this intense silence mistake it for simple emptiness or a void. But the chosen ones recognize that this is not a vacuum. It is the deliberate void that precedes all creation, the sacred space where the divine actively forms something mighty out of apparent nothingness. This trumpet does not sound like the clash of war. It manifests as a profound, terrifying peace. This peace systematically strips away every false pretense, every shallow pursuit, every aspect of your identity you believed was real, leaving behind only the pure essence of your sacred calling. Here is the essential, difficult truth that most people will never grasp. When the silent trumpet sounds, you inevitably experience loss. You lose the comfortable distractions you relied upon. You lose the familiar security of your routine. You lose the deceptive luxury of pretending you are unaware of who you truly are. 'Cause now you have heard the calling sound that no one else around you can perceive. And once that spiritual sound echoes deep within your soul, there is no possibility of retreating to become the person the world dictated you should be. You have just been summoned, and the next object waiting for you will unveil an identity, a name that has never before been uttered on this earth. The fifth sign is the stone with no name. It does not glitter or radiate light. It does not speak audibly, nor does it violently compete for your attention. It might manifest as a surprisingly smooth rock you often carry in your pocket, or a piece of jewelry that feels inexplicably heavy on your skin, or perhaps a persistent symbol that recurs in your dreams with compelling regularity. To the wider world, it carries absolutely no meaning. But for the chosen, it serves to summon forth something profoundly ancient from the deepest chambers of their inner self. This stone is not blank because it is empty. It is blank because it holds a sacred original name that no human mouth has ever been capable of speaking aloud. Not your parents, not your teachers, not even your own conscious mind can utter it. This stone carries the name that heaven bestowed upon you before the very concept of time began. This is a name that exists outside of all earthly languages, a name that cannot be pronounced, only deeply and spiritually felt. And the moment you come into profound contact with its presence, a spiritual unraveling commences. Every external identity you have assumed begins to deliberately fall away. This happens because the chosen do not ascertain their true identity by analyzing their surroundings or conforming to societal expectations. They uncover their truth by remembering the person they were fundamentally intended to be before the world systematically convinced them to forget it. The stone with no name acts as a quiet but relentless confrontation. It does not issue commands or provide a list of instructions. Instead, it presents a bold challenge. Dare to remember. Remember the intensity of the fire, the profound comfort of the silence, the unfiltered feeling you possessed as an innocent child before the world's infection touched your spirit. Remember the mighty dreams you were forced to bury under the need for mere survival. This stone is far more than a simple object. It represents the sheer powerful weight of your true identity. It is the solid confirmation that you were never designed to fit in with the crowd, because your destiny was always to stand purposefully apart. And once you sense that true name, even if you are unable to articulate it verbally, you will never again respond to the labels the world attempts to place upon you. Because when heaven whispers your real name, every single earthly label loses all its power and authority over your soul. Yet this profound establishment of identity invariably attracts spiritual resistance, and the next object has been meticulously collecting every tear, every internal battle, and every hidden moment specifically for such a critical time as this. You may have encountered the sixth powerful object, the sealed bottle in the landscape of a dream. It might appear as glass or clay, firmly sealed, sometimes radiating with a gentle anointed oil, or flickering faintly with an inner light. Other times it is visibly filled with tears, not solely your own but the accumulated tears of generations. This is the sacred sealed bottle, and its contents are not intended for the world's gaze. It belongs exclusively to the chosen. This bottle holds its sacredness, not primarily for what it contains, but because of every single spiritual assault and tribulation it has successfully survived. Every time you were deeply broken yet refused to give up the fight, a precious drop of spiritual oil was sealed within it. Every night you wept silently but chose to remain obedient to your path, that moment was captured and preserved. Every significant act of faith you performed in absolute silence, without any desire for applause or public recognition, was meticulously recorded by heaven itself. This is because the chosen do not wear their authority on their heads in the form of crowns. They carry these sacred bottles within the depths of their spirits, and these bottles are not fragile as they may seem. They are in reality fortresses strategically disguised. The oil contained within them represents your personal anointing, having been refined through fire, rigorously tested by life's storms, and successfully preserved when everything else around you seemed to be collapsing. This is why many people simply cannot comprehend the inexplicable source of your inherent strength. They failed to witness the intense spiritual process of what was being sealed. You were never being subjected to punishment. You were actively being preserved for a greater purpose. Here is the essential mystery that most people overlook. When the time appointed by heaven finally arrives, this sacred bottle will dramatically break open, and everything contained within it will pour out with overwhelming spiritual power. Your spoken words will carry the anointing oil. Your very presence will radiate light. Your entire life journey, including the tears you shed, will become the means of profound healing for others. You have been walking through the world carrying this sealed bottle deep inside you. Now, what do you think will happen when heaven decrees that the time has come to open it? This leads us to the next object, which is not about the treasures within you, but about the profound, destined vision that has been relentlessly pursuing you since the moment of your birth. The seventh sign is the burning feather. It is surprisingly delicate, completely unexpected in its arrival, and soft to the touch, yet it carries an undeniable supernatural weight. You might discover it as a single perfectly placed feather on your path, immediately following a moment of intense, focused prayer. Perhaps it appears as a glowing, unmistakable sign in a dream, or as a sudden vision that leaves you physically trembling because you know with absolute certainty that it was not a product of your imagination. This is the burning feather, and it is never a coincidence, nor is it mere ornamentation. It is solid. Divine confirmation. To the average observer, it is simply a feather, but to the chosen, it is the clear fingerprint of heaven, a definitive mark that an angel has just passed through that very space, and that the spiritual realm has decisively intervened on your behalf. It confirms that you were absolutely not alone, even during the periods when you felt the most profoundly abandoned. This feather burns not with physical fire, but with a palpable, intense presence. It radiates an inexplicable peace, yet simultaneously leaves you spiritually shaken. This is because when the burning feather manifests, it is a sign that something profoundly holy is now actively near you. This manifestation is not metaphorical. It is a spiritual strategy. It appears specifically in the moments where you were closest to giving up entirely, in response to the prayers you could only whisper when you thought no one was listening, and within the rooms where you cried in utter silence, questioning whether the divine even heard you anymore. And then the feather appears. You do not reach out to touch it. Rather, it reaches out and touches you. Your spirit responds instinctively before your rational mind can even process the event. You perceive an immediate shift, a tangible divine nearness. This is not merely about angels passively observing. It is a clear indication that heaven is actively moving on your behalf. The burning feather is the undeniable proof that a significant divine intervention is underway. That specific help has already been dispatched to your location, and that something immeasurably bigger is actively walking with you right now. If you have witnessed its appearance, you have been marked, not simply for divine protection, but for a sacred assignment. However, profound heavenly presence always ushers in new and demanding instruction, and the next object waiting on your journey will serve to test not what you know, but whether you can wield genuine power without succumbing to the temptation of pride. The eighth object is the hidden cloak. Your survival thus far was not a consequence of being the loudest voice or the most visible person in the room. You have survived, often against overwhelming odds, because no one truly saw you coming. There were multiple times when you should have been exposed, viciously attacked, or utterly destroyed by your enemies, yet you emerged unharmed. The reason: you were secretly enveloped in something invisible, something profoundly divine. This is the hidden cloak. It does not bear the appearance of traditional heavy armor, nor does it shine brightly like a commanding sword, yet it possesses greater power than both combined. For the chosen, the hidden cloak appears in distinct, unusual ways, a vivid dream where you navigate a dangerous situation completely unseen, a sudden strong sense of spiritual covering the moment you enter a dark or spiritually compromised place, or a precise moment where you feel an enemy's eyes pass directly over you without recognition. This is not simple luck or a coincidence. It is the divine realm's strategic stealth mode. This mode activates exclusively in the lives of those who are tasked with carrying extremely heavy and crucial assignments. When you are chosen, you do not always get the luxury of fighting your battles in the same way as everyone else. Sometimes your greatest victory is found in remaining undetectable, invisible to traps, utterly unreachable by the enemy's focused weapons. You have passed through environments that should have utterly decimated you, but the hidden cloak wrapped you in a strategic silence, successfully shielding you from malicious gossip, from focused spiritual attacks, and particularly from those people who attempted to analyze your every move solely for the purpose of sabotaging your destiny. Here is a profound secret that few ever truly grasp. When the divine covers you, even your most relentless enemies seem to forget your very existence. They lose the spiritual scent, They miss the crucial moment to strike. They often redirect their weaponized focus in the wrong direction, because the hidden cloak has effectively made you vanish, hidden in plain sight. But this cloak serves a dual purpose. It doesn't only protect you, it actively positions you. It strategically places you in the exact physical and spiritual location where your destiny is meant to unfold, all without the distracting noise, without the dangerous spotlight, and without the constant threat of sabotage. And now, something crucial is beginning to shift, because cloaks are inherently temporary coverings. When the covering is lifted, what has been meticulously hidden must finally be revealed. That is the precise moment when the final object appears, not to offer protection, but to ignite your purpose. The ninth and final object is the mirror that shows the spirit. It is not made of physical glass, and it utterly refuses to reflect the image that the world sees when it looks at you. In fact, when you first gaze into it, it often appears as if there is nothing there at all, a profound, absolute void. But then, in that moment of absolute stillness, the spiritual veil lifts entirely. You stop seeing yourself through the judgmental lens you have always used. You do not see your flaws, your age, or the record of your past mistakes. Instead, you see the magnificent, powerful being you were born, destined, and created to become. This is the mirror that shows the spirit. Its function has nothing to do with vanity or superficial external beauty, or even human measures of success. This mirror systematically strips away all those temporary concerns and reveals something infinitely more powerful and enduring: your divine identity. The chosen ones who look into this mirror do not see a reflection of their regrettable past. They see the powerful mission that the divine purposefully placed inside their soul. It is not about a record of what you have managed to achieve. It is about the ultimate work you were specifically put here to do. In this singular moment of revelation, you stop seeing a person merely struggling to survive, and you behold a formidable warrior, entirely destined to fundamentally change everything. The experience is simultaneously overwhelming and terrifying, yet underpinned by an immense settled peace. This is because within the frame of this mirror, all your lingering doubts and deep-seated fears are utterly swallowed by one single, inescapable truth. You were created for this exact moment. This is not a moment for ego or pride. It is a moment of profound, absolute surrender to your higher calling. The chosen do not merely recognize the true self staring back at them. They recognize the specific, powerful resources and abilities the divine has placed within them for the task ahead. The reflection within this mirror does not just show you, it shows your destiny unveiled. And the second you truly glimpse it, nothing in your life can ever revert to what it was. Because the terrifying truth you uncover, the immense mission you are shown, is so vast and so demanding that the only logical action remaining is to step immediately into it. Stepping fully into the revealed purpose of your life, however, will require much more than simply the gift of sight. It will demand immediate, courageous, and sustained action from you. Everything you have just heard, every sacred object described, was not a mere collection of random concepts or coincidences. These are genuine spiritual keys, unmistakable signs deliberately marked by heaven itself, signaling that you are entirely set apart from the ordinary. The chosen ones do not navigate their lives based on chance or luck. They are purposefully set apart, meticulously prepared, and profoundly anointed specifically for monumental moments exactly like this one. If you have personally encountered or strongly resonated with the truth of even a single one of these divine objects, it means with absolute certainty that you are a vital participant in a plan far grander and more intricate than you can currently imagine. You are not just a passive observer watching this video. You are actively in the process of a powerful spiritual awakening. You have been powerfully summoned to a destiny that is currently unseen, eternally unshakable, and spiritually uncontested by any earthly force. The world may continue to overlook your true potential, and the enemy will inevitably attempt to flood you with confusion, but you are not on this earth by mere accident. You were born specifically for this. Now the floor is yours. I invite you to take action and comment below with the declaration: I've seen the signs. Let us witness together how many chosen individuals across the world are finally recognizing their unique calling and beginning this powerful awakening. It is the time to stand up, to boldly declare your mission, and to courageously walk in the specific purpose that was set aside for your life before the concept of time was even established. Do not forget to tap the like button, share this essential message with another chosen soul, and subscribe for more deep revelations that are intended to continue transforming your life from the inside out. The world may never fully grasp who we are, but heaven knows our true identity completely, and our moment to rise has undeniably arrived. Rise now! You are unstoppable! You are chosen,